Hi friends, I've got a new Ask Aaliyah, ask me anything you ask I answer video for you right now. So this video is about someone asked the question essentially, when I discover a false belief, and I discover what the false belief is, and I discover what the true belief is, why doesn't the false belief naturally just dissolve on its own? And I think that we get this question because a lot of teachers, especially meditation teachers and mindfulness teachers, are telling us that awareness is curative. That as soon as we become aware of our false belief, and as soon as we become aware of what the truth behind that belief is, and even why we developed the false belief, and all of these things, as soon as we become aware of all of this, that we are automatically different. And the truth is, we aren't. And we aren't because the false belief is based on a condition that actually existed in our childhood. Okay, so if you're watching all my other public YouTube videos, you'll have a deeper understanding of this. And I'm going deeply into it in my public videos and in the mystery school. So if you want more on this, you can watch more of my videos or you can join the mystery school. But essentially, in a nutshell, we need to understand that in our childhoods, we were living in a temporary reality where our parents were acting as reality, meaning what they approved of and what they disapproved of, what they thought was right and wrong, was our reality. They were the ones who provided for us. They were the ones that met our needs because we were children who could not meet our own needs. We could not meet our physical needs, we could not meet our emotional needs, we could not meet our mental needs, we could not meet any of our own needs because we didn't have enough awareness of ourselves or how reality worked in order to do that. So we lived under the umbrella of our parents, who, whether we were actually living in alignment with real reality or not, we were getting fed, we were getting clothed, we were getting provided for. That's how it's supposed to work. And we're supposed to slowly come into awareness of how real reality works. And this would be in an ideal world where our parents know what real reality is, and slowly transition out of the altered reality, the altered state of parent provides everything for me, whether I'm in or out of alignment with reality, into real reality where we learn these are the consequences of my actions. This is how pain and pleasure work. So when I'm in pain, that means I'm breaking myself against the laws of reality, and therefore what I think is true isn't, and therefore what I'm trying to create and what I'm trying to be and what I'm trying to express isn't going to work this way, so I need to learn a new way. And when I'm in pleasure, true pleasure, there is no negative consequence. Remember, so real true pleasure means I experience joy in this moment and it doesn't lead to a consequence later, a negative consequence later. And it's allowing me to create, it's allowing me to learn. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm expanding, I'm having a good time because I'm being myself. I'm expressing, and all of these things are helping me to understand how reality works better and how to get my needs met in reality better. That's true pleasure and true pain. But in the false or in the temporary reality of our childhoods, what our parents believed to be right and wrong, good and bad, yes and no, was what we needed to be in order to be approved of and therefore provided for. So when our nervous systems were developing, we were being programmed. And when our brains were developing, we got to understand this. When our brains, for perception, for perceiving how reality works, for perceiving ourselves, for perceiving the world, were developing, they were developing based on the conditioning of our parents, not of real reality. And because our nervous system evolved the way that it did, it was very primal, and it has not evolved, it has not changed since our very, very beginning days of humanity. So we still have a nervous system that says when I'm in fear, that means my physical reality is threatened. The body and the mind don't know the difference between a mental stress, an emotional stress, a physical stress. It all just thinks stress equals I'm in danger. And then when you do a behavior and live, your brain and your body, too simple to understand the actual threat, didn't actually know what was going on, says, okay, we faced that threat, we didn't understand it, we did this behavior, we lived, therefore that behavior saved my life. So now we're developing, this is where false beliefs come from. is our childhoods, where we were expressing our real selves. We were going after being what we really wanted to be. We were exploring. We were making mistakes. We were making messes. All of these things were in alignment with reality, but they were out of alignment with what our parents wanted. So then we started to, in our nervous system, feel our parents pull away, feel our parents neglect us, get rejected, get all of these things. Love going away, which in our little childhood reality is provision going away. So now it doesn't matter what real reality is. We now need to do whatever it is that's in alignment with mom and dad's reality, with caregivers' reality. And that's what's programmed into our nervous system as what saves our life. So even though we were children who were naturally learning, naturally growing, making mistakes, spilling water, climbing up on things we didn't know how to get down off of, and we needed our parents to explain to us, okay, here's how you get down, here's why hitting another child, how did it feel when you hit another child? Can you tune into your own feelings? That's a developmental stage. We got shamed, we got blamed, we got rejected. Our nervous system says, okay, just shut that part of myself off. Don't do that anymore. Don't be that anymore. Don't go after that, because every time that happens, we get rejected, which is a threat, and then your nervous system thinks we're going to die, and then it gets programmed in that that behavior equals death. So now you discover a false belief in your adulthood. You realize, oh, that wasn't right. My parents didn't teach me the right thing. I am rejecting these parts of myself because my parents rejected them, not because they're actually bad. I want to go and explore something that they didn't want me to explore or didn't have time to help me understand. They shamed me for things that weren't actually my fault. They were projecting an adult consciousness onto my childhood consciousness, like I spilled the water to fuck with my mom instead of I didn't know how it worked and I needed her to explain it to me. All of these things. This is where all of our false beliefs come from. But we have to understand that just because we cognitively understand this, your nervous system still thinks that's how reality works. Your nervous system is still programmed that if we go outside of the bounds of this, we're going to die. We have to stay in alignment with the consensus reality of mom and dad, or we're going to die. That got programmed into your body, into your nervous system when you were an infant, when you were a child. So becoming aware is part of it, yes, but then we have to love ourselves safe over and over and over again when we're in shame and when we're in guilt. Because when we're in shame and we're in guilt, when we're in self-blame and we're in guilt, and when we're even in blaming other people for how we feel, that is the awareness that we're in conditioning. Okay, shame and guilt of the self or others equals we're in conditioning, we don't understand what's going on. So then we need to be gentle on ourselves, be compassionate with ourselves, come back to, okay, what am I so afraid of? What am I wanting to be that's programmed into my nervous system to just shut it off? Because that's the other thing. The nervous system works so quickly, our storytelling minds work so quickly, that in our adulthoods, when we even have this unconscious desire to express something that our parents rejected, we're automatically going to go into our false beliefs, into our old behaviors. Our nervous system is going to shut us down before we're even mentally aware. We're all going to be 10 steps down the binge before we even recognize that we had a part of ourselves that we wanted to express that got rejected in our childhood that we can't do, and now we're binging in order to not be what got us so rejected, right? And that's going to be another thing that we're going to understand, is that all of our coping mechanisms may not be helping us be approved of, but they're all helping us to be not the person that got us rejected in our childhoods. They're helping us shut down who we're not allowed to be and what we're not allowed to do. And so as we start to understand what we actually want to be and what we actually want to do, convincing your nervous system to do it is going to be the scariest thing you've ever done. It's going to actually feel like death. You're going to know you're actually confronting your false beliefs and you're finding truth. When the actions you know you want to take feel like death to your nervous system. Like you actually feel like you're going to die if you express this part of yourself. You actually feel like you're going to die if you go and do what you want to do. And then you have to love yourself safe over and over and over and over and over again to retrain the nervous system that when we do these things, we don't die. Because it's programmed into your nervous system right now that if you do what you want to do, that if you be who you really are, you will not get provision and you will die. Love will go away, and love equals provision, and therefore I will die. So this is why it doesn't just dissolve. Just because you're consciously aware of it, your nervous system is still completely programmed. So what we have to do is understand our biology. Number one, love equals safety to our biology. So we need to learn self-love. It is the foundation for all of this. When you are rejecting yourself, you are re-triggering yourself into your nervous system behaviors. So when we're in shame and guilt, we say, no, 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 no. This is a false belief. I'm believing something false about myself or about reality, and I need to give myself compassion. And we need to find why we're doing what we're doing with curiosity. So rather than getting upset with our coping mechanisms, upset with our behaviors, upset with ourselves that we can't change, we have compassion. Compassion, 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 compassion until we find the root. Oh, I see where this came from. And like I say, when you really understand where your behaviors are coming from, you're going to have nothing but compassion for yourself because you're going to see the innocence in it. If you still see that there was something wrong with you or something bad about you that caused your behavior, you're not seeing the truth. So until you get to, I see why I'm doing this, it's completely innocent. I thought I was going to die. My parents rejected me. Okay, that's the step one. Step two, you love yourself in that. You accept it anyways. You accept yourself even if you never change, which is super hard. That relaxes your nervous system enough to try something different. And then you're going to try something different. It's going to be the scariest thing you've ever done. You're going to feel like you're going to die. And you're going to have to prove to your nervous system that you don't die. And you're going to have to do that over and over and over and over and over again. Love yourself. Safety. Choose the new thing even though it's the scariest thing you've ever done. Show your nervous system you didn't die. And over time, you will reprogram what your conscious mind now knows is the truth into your body. Okay? So just because your mind knows doesn't mean your whole body knows. And that's why it doesn't just dissolve. It's in your nervous system. So I hope that clarifies. And yeah, keep watching my videos because I'm going to come at you with a lot more in depth about this stuff. And especially in the mystery school, it's really, really deep in there too. So hope that helps. Talk to you later.